A video of these two young kids, probably like 10, 11 years old at most, after a sparring, and they were just bloodied up. It looked like they went to war against each other. People were saying, oh, this is good, you know, people are soft nowadays, you know, this is what, you know, boxing's all about. Some people are all like, bro, like, they're like 9 years old, why are you making them spar like this?
If I was in the gym, let's say, and I was seeing them do it, I'd be like, damn, these kids are going hard as fuck. Yeah. Maybe I have my own personal take on it, but the parents are there. If the parents are there, adult supervision is there, it's fine.
But yeah, Nontshinga was upset by Curiel a couple months back in a round 2 KO. This was a rematch. This fight is easily one of the fight of the year contenders at the moment, because they were going at it,
which is really what the boxing fans like to see. They like to see motherfuckers just standing right in the center of the ring, just throwing punches with the high guard.
They released the main card for Misfits 13. We got a new type of thing that Mams Taylor is implementing, which is the Outnumbered. It's a 2v1.
You know what it reminds me of? Russia be having like some 6v6 fucking fights, dude.
Oh, yeah.
It reminds me of like some bullshit like that, man. Like,
welcome back to another episode of the Last Round Podcast, where we talk about traditional boxing to influencer boxing and everything in between. In today's episode, we'll be talking about Curiel versus Nontshinga, the rematch, as well as the fight between Oshaki Foster against Nova. And we'll be also going over the Misfits 13 card. But before we start the episode, don't forget to like and subscribe, and also follow us on Discord. The link is in the description down below. But I think we should get started right now. So let's talk about the Curiel versus Nontshinga fight. Before we talk about the main event, I want to talk about the return of Mauricio El Bronco Lara, one of Mexican boxing's most entertaining, most explosive fighters that they've got at the moment. He's coming off a loss against Leywood back last year, and he made his return on this card this past weekend. And let's just say that his return was a bit underwhelming. You know, I think he was very lucky to get the decision that he got. What are your guys' thoughts about the return of Mauricio El Bronco Lara?
Yeah, the return was a bit shaky. You know, it was I don't think he wanted a performance like that. You know, there was a lot of questions after his fight against Lee Wood because he didn't look his best. He did not perform how he usually performed, and once again he performed very subpar, I believe. I think he is better than what he performed. It seemed, you know, he couldn't get his combinations flowing. It seemed his legs were like stuck in mud. He couldn't really get them in coordination with his punches. Everything screamed underperformance, and I think he got lucky getting a draw. I think it could have really gone to his opponent's way. So yeah, it's just underwhelming performance overall, you know. And he used to be one of my favorite fighters. When he beat Warrington, he was my favorite Mexican fighter. And then after he lost, and then I was like, oh, okay, then the comeback fight. Now he's on or not a losing streak, but lost and then a draw. It's not looking too good for him, but hopefully, you know, he gets discipline, gets, you know, training, gets better coaches, better training camps and everything, and he's able to come back stronger.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be a little bit more harsh, but yeah, I did not like the way he fought at all. Not at all. I think he was very much awarded the victory, the draw and stuff like that, because I really thought he was losing. To be honest, I thought it was the other guy. Who was the other guy? Hugo?
Daniel
Lugo. Yeah, Lugo. Lugo did a pretty good job of neutralizing his hook, which is what Bronco was just really relying on the whole night, and he couldn't land that. So then it looked like he couldn't do anything else. Like, he wasn't explosive. It looked like after like the first 2-3 rounds, like his power wasn't really there no more. Though he was able to hurt him later in the fight, but he was just solely relying on his power. And no, he looked pretty much average, which it sucks because I know he can do a much better job. But I think it goes back to the thing of him. I think he's gotten comfortable. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, going to one thing you said about the hook, that's all he was relying on. It looked like he was a one-dimensional fighter. Like, it looked like he had nothing else other than just spam the left hook. And that was not what he was, you know, that's not what he was when his breakout fight, he wasn't known for that. Like, he was known for his power, but also his volume punches, his combinations. The combinations he was landing on Warrington were absolutely devastating. He was putting them together like crazy. And now it was just a one punch. It wasn't even combinations. It was just trying to slip a punch and throw a hook, slip a punch, throw a hook. He was relying on it way too much. Yeah, and I think you're right. It's discipline, I think, is what's lacking. And he's not developing his skills. You know, he got some money now. Maybe he's living life a little bit more comfortably.
Yeah. Well, yeah, also his explosiveness. I think that's the big thing that really... that I loved about El Bronco Lara, because, you know, his combinations were obviously lethal, but they all started because he was explosive. He'd throw those combinations, 4, 5, 6 punch combinations at an explosive rate, and it'd catch his opponent off guard. Mixed in with his hard, you know, his heavy hands, that was a very lethal combination for a dangerous fighter, and that's what really broke him into the scene. But ever since that first Leigh Wood fight, I have not seen that Bronco return. I think he was very lucky to even get that knockout against Leigh Wood in the first fight, because that shot came from heaven, man.
Because he was losing that fight.
He was losing that fight, and Leigh Wood was putting his hands on him. You know, you could tell that the punches were heavy. They were landing heavy on Bronco, and Bronco was, you know, God's plan. Decided to gift him that lethal hook, and it just absolutely stopped him. But yeah, ever since the second fight, also he did absolutely nothing. And after the fight, Bronco kind of blamed it on the inactivity. You know, 9 months is a long time away from the ring, and he kind of blamed it on that. He said he felt kind of heavy, he felt frustrated at points, and he gave props to his opponent for that too. But and then they interviewed Eddie Hearn about it, and Eddie Hearn himself said that he thought that Bronco Lara was fortunate to have been gifted a draw, because he felt that he was losing the fight, but that Bronco Lara was able to come back in the 9th and in the 10th round to at least get a draw from this fight. So Bronco Lara returned at 130, not at 126 where he normally fights at. So that's either one or two. There's either two things for that. Two reasons for that. One, you know, he's making his return. They don't want to, you know, cut him off too much to, you know, to make 126. Just make him fight at 130. Let's see how his body adjusts and everything, just to get back in the whole motion of fighting. Or two, he can't make 126 anymore. That could be two things. Yeah. And regardless of that, I think El Bronco Lara really needs to go back in the gym and really get his mindset back down to the Lara that fought against Warrington the first time. Because if that Lara returns, I see no 126, not even a 130 pounder beating them.
Honestly, it's true. Lara was so dangerous. Like, he was so dangerous, and he's so much better than what his last performances are showing. You know, and it's sad to see, because he has so much potential he could really be Mexico's next biggest star. But I think his management is not that well. His discipline isn't that well. And going back to what you said, I think it's the second reason. I don't think Mauricio Lara can make 126 anymore. I think, you know,
because he be eating pizzas after the wings.
No nutrition, no diet, no nothing. Like, he has the money now. Like, he can do these things. He has to invest in his boxing. But I think he's just living the high life now, and that's usually what happens. You know, with a lot of these guys that come from poverty, they get the first taste of money. They get a world championship. They start, you know, slacking on their training a little bit, and I think that's what happened to Mauricio Lara.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what it is. Also, it seems as though he keeps getting worse too, almost. And not only that, but I think we may not see him for much longer if he doesn't make a change, because I believe there was one round in particular during the fight where he said, no.
Oh, after the sixth.
That was interesting.
After the sixth, he looked like he was quitting.
It looked like he wanted his team to kind of stop it, because he said, no, I don't want to.
He got hurt to the body, and that he wanted to quit, which is one of the craziest things I've seen from the corner. The fighter telling them, no more, and his corner's all like, no, you're fine. Like, trying to amp him up, because if he would have lost, I think his career could have been well over.
They might have dropped him.
Yeah, they might have dropped him, and he's lucky. To have gone the draw. So Bronco Lara, one of my favorite fighters, really needs to step it up, because I want to see him once again put in those performances that he did, especially like that Warrington fight. So explosive. But let's move on to the main event, because that was the co-main event. Now the main event, this was actually kind of interesting, because it was this Matchroom The Zone event took place in Oaxaca, Mexico. The first time they've ever held a boxing championship fight there in Oaxaca. And I think it did well. 10,000 fans pulled up, which is a good amount of fans pulling up for a first-time world championship event there at Oaxaca. And it was a headline by the homeboy, Curiel, you know, who recently became world champion at super flyweight at 108, as he took on Nontshinga, a South American fighter who had lost previously to Curiel a couple months back. A very devastating upset, a KO.
Wait, is he American or African?
South. What did I say?
You said South American.
Oh, my bad.
No,
South African. South African.
Yeah.
South African. My bad about that one. But yeah, Nontshinga was upset by Curiel a couple months back in a round 2 KO, a devastating KO. So this was a rematch. Curiel was coming in as the home, his homecoming essentially, right? Yeah. And let's say this fight is easily one of the fight of the year contenders at the moment, because they were going at it from the first round all the way to, you know, whatever round it lasted to. They were just throwing bombs at each other. What are you guys' thoughts about that fight?
Yeah, it was one of those fights of just like in the pocket. They're gonna go out. Whoever has the most grit is gonna win, because it really wasn't that much skill. It really wasn't that much finesse. No, it was like man to man, which is really what the boxing fans like to see. They like to see motherfuckers just standing right in the center of the ring, just throwing punches with the high guard.
That's real boxing.
That's real boxing to them, you know. But yeah, it was an entertaining fight. It was a fun fight. Finally, it was revenge for what's his name?
Nontshinga.
Nontshinga. It was revenge for him. He got his world title back. They're both 1-1 now. I don't see no reason why not to run back the trilogy. You know, trilogy in South Africa this time, I think.
I'd like that too. Yeah, I would like to see a third fight, a grudge match between them. Just because of one of them got knocked out, the other one got stopped. Now we gotta settle it.
We gotta see let's see who is the actual champion in flyweight, super flyweight. You know,
it's actually light flyweight. Light flyweight. 108. I like this fight because, I mean, from the first round, you know, they started going at it. They didn't even take time to even
no feeling out process.
No feeling out. They just went right at each other and just started, you know, rock 'em sock 'em type of boxing. But this fight was interesting because Curiel, in my eyes, was leading the fight. You know, he was winning. He won the early rounds. It looked like he was imposing his will. I felt like Nontshinga was fighting the wrong game plan. He's fighting Curiel's game plan. He was on the ropes a lot. Curiel was just destroying him from the body, this and that. But all of a sudden, it started switching. The tide started, you know, momentum was beginning to switch over to Nontshinga's favor. And I think it was the 9th round where Nontshinga hurt Curiel, and then the 10th round is where somehow Nontshinga came out with like a second, third win and just absolutely destroyed Curiel. Like it was insane. I was mad.
Yeah.
Because I'm Mexican, so
wanted the Mexican to win.
Yeah, I wanted the Mexican to win. So seeing Curiel not hold when he was hurt, I was like, why don't you grab him? Hold him, you know?
And it was so funny too because the referee was completely on his side.
Yeah,
I mean, the whole event was catered towards him, right? They're in his hometown, you know. The referee was completely on his side. He gave him the most chances to stay in the fight, you know, because Nontshinga started just teeing off on him like crazy. Like Curiel wasn't even defending himself, and then he called like a standing 8 count. The referee called a standing 8 count to give Curiel time to recover. It didn't work. They got back into the fight. It didn't work. Nontshinga just kept on whooping his ass until finally the ref was forced to step in and stop the fight.
He could have let it go on. I think it was a premature stoppage.
That shit was like a 50-punch combination with no answer.
No answer, yeah. I think there was a few reasons why. He started off really fast. He was the one who was bringing the fight towards
Nontshinga.
Nontshinga.
Yeah, it's a very strange name. Yeah,
Nontshinga. Yeah. So, and plus that, and he doesn't have power. Like at all. Like his record doesn't show that he is a power puncher. I think Curiel.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, so
that's what made the first fight so crazy.
So crazy because it just came out of nowhere too.
And this guy isn't even known like as a super power puncher.
Yeah, it was like a 1-punch KO, I believe. So that, and I think that's what it was. Because if he had some type of power, I think he would have slowly been really breaking him down. And he was, but I think
he was doing too much, like expending too much energy.
Yeah, because he started gassing.
He started gassing so hard, and they were fighting in Oaxaca. And if you guys know, that's basically mountains. They were fighting on super high elevation, stuff like that. So, I mean, it is what it is. I think that's what it was.
Yeah, regardless, the main event was. I really enjoyed it.
Very entertaining.
It was very entertaining. Yeah, it was between that and you know what? I have a bone to pick with boxing sometimes because
how are you
gonna have the zone, Matchroom Boxing, Top Rank, and Pro Box TV all have events on the same day? Come on, guys. Why you guys all having it on Friday? Come on, just choose different ones, bro.
Yeah.
Why do you guys having the same day?
You know what's funny? They never almost have shows on Friday, and the time that they do, everyone decides to
Everyone
have
has it.
Well, it's because of UFC 300 or 300
298.
My bad. Yeah, but it's because of UFC. I'm pretty sure.
Actually, yeah, that probably makes sense.
like
they didn't want to compete.
But like, come on, 3 fights. Bro,
Yeah,
it's like you had to
dude.
like switch. Or
If you want to be like, or if you want to watch all the fights, you gotta have like 3 separate TVs with 3 separate streams going on at the
Literally,
same
bro.
time.
so annoying.
Oh my
It's
God.
like, bro, what do you expect from us?
on.
You know?
But yeah, so that was the Oaxaca Matchroom Boxing the Zone event between Curiel versus Nontshinga, the rematch. Hopefully, we get to see a third fight in South Africa. It only makes sense.
That would be dope.
Yeah, it'd be cool. So that was the event for that one. Let's move on to the other event that happened on Friday, which was the return of O'Shaquie Foster as he took on Abraham Nova for the 130 strap, the WBC. What do you guys thoughts about that fight? Did O'Shaquie Foster perform well, or was this a kind of a learning lesson for him?
Yeah, I think it was a little lackluster for Foster. I think, I thought this fight was closer than what I thought it was going to be. I thought Nova, he's a bit awkward. He's very long, and he fights kind of strange. So I thought maybe the first couple rounds, Foster would, take some time to figure him out, and then he'd come down strong in the second half. But he kind of struggled throughout the whole fight. Majority of the fight, Foster was struggling. Nova's best success was this looping right hand that he would throw, and it landed several times on Foster. So, Foster didn't do that great. I think he definitely did do enough to win the fight. Close fight. I think he did pull out the victory. But definitely not the performance that he wanted to have for his top ranked debut.
Yeah, definitely not. It's also. Do you think it's because of his injury?
Yeah. So in the 4th round, I believe, 3rd or 4th, it was like in the midway of the fight. Foster got hit. He threw like a right hand, and Nova kind of raised his elbow, and then Foster landed his bicep like right in the elbow. Yeah. So then throughout the whole fight, Foster was kind of like adjusting his right hand like all the time. You could see it was definitely bothering him.
Yeah.
And even in the post-fight interview, Bernardo Osuna asked him about it, and he said he didn't want to make any excuses, but he did hurt his bicep.
Yeah.
I think it definitely could have had been something that happened, something that influenced this performance. Even he was even saying that he didn't feel his best self. His timing was off, this and that. And I think it is true. I thought Foster would do better, and I think he could have done better.
Yeah, especially because this is Nova's second time at a world title shot, and he came up short the first time. This was at 126. He got sparked out against Ramirez, and then moving up to 130. I just assumed that Foster would not only be the bigger guy, but also be more heavy-handed and stuff like that. No, Nova was coming forward at him erratically sometimes as well, just kind of rushing him, and it seemed as though Foster couldn't get his timing like the first like 3/4 of the way, and then like the last quarter he kind of like figured him out a little bit, figuring the timing and whatnot, catching him when he was coming in, and then he got the knockdown.
I think that definitely
30 seconds.
Yeah, it secured the win for him, I believe. Yeah.
But I think he would have won without the.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. Without the knockdown.
So, the title, the WBC stayed for Foster, so the champions didn't change. So the champions right now at super featherweight or at 130 are Joe Cordina, Lamont Roach, O'Shaquie Foster, and Emmanuel Navarrete. Now, O'Shaquie Foster, who did he call out afterwards?
He called out. He said Navarrete's busy. Does Navarrete have a fight coming up?
Supposedly the mandatory at 135.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're trying to get him one of the straps.
Yeah, it's
there.
kind of strange.
Yeah.
But Yeah, so he said he's like, Navarrete's busy. Give me Foster, or not? Give me Foster.
Foster against
Foster versus Foster. The only man who can defeat me is me. But
he called out the rest of the champions.
yeah,
no?
he called out Lamont Roach specifically. I think he said he also mentioned Cordina. Did he? Or I'm not. I know for sure he mentioned Lamont Roach.
Yeah, he did. I think he mentioned the rest of the champions in his weight class. But yeah, what's funny is that they were going back and forth on Twitter.
Who? Lamont Roach?
Lamont Roach and Foster.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I saw that.
You saw that?
Yeah, so I think, so he basically called out Lamont Roach. I think it's a pretty easy fight for him because for the people that don't know, Lamont Roach won the belt fighting Hector Luis Garcia. It was a very boring fight.
It was weird.
It was so boring. Like, bro, that fight was horrible. It was a very close fight. No real action.
Yeah.
And Lamont Roach, he knocked him down, I think in the 12th round or some bullshit like that.
Yeah.
He got the victory, but I didn't see anything special from Lamont Roach. I think Foster beats him. I think it's for Foster, I'd say go for Lamont Roach.
I think so, yeah.
Get unified at 130 and then try to get a fight at then unify again with Navarrete or Cordina.
With Navarrete stays at 130.
If Navarrete stays at 130.
Yeah.
Truthfully, I think Navarrete is Foster's weakness.
Yeah.
Nova was having he was struggling a lot with the awkward kind of looping punches of Nova. And who's a master of doing looping punches? Navarrete.
It's not even looping, but it's also just awkward as fuck.
Looping awkward angles. His uppercut, his 5 is just so different from traditional boxing. And Foster was struggling so much with the timing of Nova. Nova's nowhere near the level of Navarrete, and Navarrete I believe is more awkward, but also a better fighter
and a better gas tank as well. Nova did get tired at the very end. Navarrete can fight like that from the first until the very end.
Yeah, so I think a matchup between Navarrete and Foster, I would favor heavily towards Navarrete.
Well, Navarrete is, in my opinion, the number one fighter at 130 easily.
And I think he deserves that because he's a 4-division world champ now since 122.
3.
Oh, 3? Yeah. 22, 26, 30,
yeah. He's going for the fourth one. If he does fight at 135 for a vacant.
I think he definitely deserves it.
Yeah, he's one of the best Mexican fighters in the world right now. So
he's my favorite Mexican fighter at the moment right now.
What about Oscar Valdez, man?
Yeah, he beat the shit out of him. He fucked up his eye. You see his eye? Oh, nah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess so that was the Foster and Nova fight at Top Rank. Let us know what you guys think about that fight. Is Foster actually the guy at 130, or do you believe that Lamont Roach is the guy? What if Lamont Roach is actually the dark horse? Man, he sparks on Navarrete.
Oh no, bro!
Oh, biggest upset.
Yeah.
So that was some of the boxing that happened. There wasn't really much boxing besides that. There was no boxing over the weekend.
On Saturday, yeah.
On Saturday, it all took place because of the UFC. Thank you, Dana White. But anyways, well, we did have some news come out. Yeah. We had they released the main card for on the influencer side for Misfits 13 taking place in Nashville, Tennessee. We got a new like event or a new type of thing that Mams Taylor is implementing, which is the Outnumbered. That's what they're calling it. Outnumbered match. It's a 2v1, and it's headlined by FoxTheG as he takes on Evil Hero and Most Wanted. Now, there's been a lot of criticism from the traditional. Anything that Misfits does, Mams Taylor case I do, it's always going to receive a lot of backlash because they came out with the whole tag team that received backlash, Survivor tag that received backlash, and then they had
Royal Rumble, remember the 4v4 death match?
That was a Survivor tag. That was a Survivor tag. Yeah. And then there's something else I think that happened. Anyway, but now they have the 2v1, the Outnumbered match. What are you guys' thoughts about that? Because I mean, I'm not really sure what to make of it because I think it's just kind of weird.
Yeah, listen, I think the traditionals have it right this time. I think when the influencers go too heavily into like a circus entertaining, I think it comes off wrong. So a 2v1, this what is like some street fight stuff. Like this isn't even getting into boxing at this point, bro. Like,
I think it's gonna be like it's gonna be 1v1, and then like
they're like tagging in, right?
They can tag in and out, and but FoxTheG stays in there.
Stays in there, yeah.
I think like more rules are gonna come. Like the rules are gonna come out as it gets closer to the fight.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm asking like, so if let's say FoxTheG knocks out Most Wanted, right? Does Evil Hero keep going? Or
Yeah,
does
exactly.
FoxTheG already win?
He has to wait. He has to beat both of them. Like he has to knock out both of them. Like I don't know.
Yeah, and how are they gonna be like scored from the perspective
Exactly.
of the two? Like,
If one gets his ass whooped, but the other one does good, then
yeah,
who wins that round?
Yeah.
It's a draw.
Yeah, give it 9-9. Yeah. It's a little. What you guys thought?
Yeah, I think it's too much. I think just have some traditional boxing, just like a 1v1, man. Like it's already entertaining because they're amateurs, they're influencers. That's entertaining enough. They have a fan base, so I think they're trying a little too hard. Misfits is trying a little too hard to cater to everybody or like make it a too much of a spectacle. I think just leave it to traditional boxing. It should do fine.
I think I like that they're being creative. They're trying to do creative things, but I think this one is a little bit too much, dude. Like 2 against 1.
We always say that too.
No, but seriously, like I don't really know how this is gonna work. Like 2 against 1, I feel like there's too many variables. Yeah, a 2 against 2 or the survival tag. Okay, I understand that because it's like even number, but with 2 against 1, I feel like it's almost unfair.
It's just like it reminds me. You know what it reminds me of? I don't know if you guys have ever seen like those memes of like Russia's not a real place. Russia be having like some 6v6 fucking fights, dude.
Oh yeah.
It reminds me of like some bullshit like that, man. Like a 2v1 like in the street type shit. Like what the hell? This ain't even boxing no more.
Well, I remember, I think it was Mams Taylor who came out and said that they're not trying to follow the traditional side. They're trying to create their own lane.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, it's shown by a lot of their events, but I mean, the reason why they don't really care what the traditional people say is because, like I said, they're creating a different path, and that is their whole very untraditional side of boxing. Which I guess you could agree, or you could at least get on board with.
You can, because one thing you can't lie about is that they're still getting numbers. They're still getting viewers.
Yeah.
So in their eyes, if their shows are being successful, if their shows are still pulling in the viewers even more and more every time, then why would they stop? They're still going to keep on getting creative like that. They're still going to put on these, I like to refer to it as circus more, because it's just like
entertainment.
Yeah, it's more like now just like entertainment instead of like combat, yeah. So
well, that was the main event, right? And they also released 2 more fights for the main card, which is going to be for the lightweight interim, the title tournament that we're talking about.
Oh yeah, the 8-man.
Yeah, so they have 2 fights on this card for that tournament, and they have for Joey Knight versus Baby Hulk, and they have Yuddy Gang versus Lil Cracker. Now, for me personally, the Yuddy Gang versus Lil Cracker one is pretty entertaining. I think that's easily my favorite one right now, because I think it's the 2 most technical boxers and influencer boxing in the scene right now going on against each other, and I think it's gonna be the best one. What are you guys' thoughts about these 2 fights?
I kind of wish they would have waited on that one.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
You wanted it to be like the last one.
Not last one, but like later on. At least not the first one. No, I mean they both have the most amateur experience, so I think it's gonna be entertaining for sure. I'm definitely very eager to see who comes out the winner on that one. For the other one, I'm really interested to see how Baby Hulk performs.
He's so interesting.
He's
right?
so interesting. He just seems such a
He's a dog.
like a dog, just like a caricature, like that. So,
Damn, bro got roasted, bro.
like he's so small, but he's so big, so compact at the same time. It's just very interesting to see, and I'm really interested to see how Joey's able to deal with someone like him.
Yeah, my main thing for that fight for Joey Knight and Baby Hulk, like Joey Knight kind of made a name for himself when he fought Most Wanted, because the angles he was doing on him and how he was like styling on him. I want to see if Joey Knight is able to do that against someone like Baby Hulk, because Baby Hulk, he's not gonna be scared because he's done the whole street beats.
He's done street beats.
Yeah, so he's had actual fights and against crazy people himself. So like I want to see if Joey Knight is able to still style on someone when they're not scared, and if they're pressuring them.
Yeah, oh no, he's definitely gonna pressure him. Yeah, Baby Hulk, he's one of those guys. He's short, he's compact, but he packs a punch, and he's gonna try to get on the inside. So yeah, that is a very interesting fight. I think I'm more for like the entertainment aspect. I'd rather see the Joey Knight and the Baby Hulk, because I think it's gonna be so entertaining. It's gonna be so fun seeing Baby Hulk in there. And then for the Lil Cracker and Yeti Gang, I mean, the winner of that fight could really win the tournament.
Yeah.
So that fight is gonna have a lot of eyes. I think the other people in the 8-man tournament should really be paying close attention to that fight, because the result could be, you know, very, very big, you know.
Well, yeah, it's Little Cracker's Misfits debut.
Mm-hmm.
Also Baby Hulk. So I know they're gonna. It's easily the most eyes that are gonna be watching them. So they
wanna
gotta show out. Yeah. Jinx. Early predictions for these 3 fights right now for the main card. Who do you guys got for Yeti Gang versus Lil Cracker?
I'll go with Lil Cracker.
Little Cracker.
Yeah.
I think Lil Cracker's
Lil
also
Cracker,
gonna win.
yeah,
I think
Lil
he'll
Cracker
take
got it. Yeah.
decision. I think honestly, yeah. How about Joey Knight versus Baby Hulk predictions?
Oh, this one's hard, dude. You go first.
I like Joey Knight, just the way he was stunning on the other dude and stuff like that in his previous fight, but I think I'm gonna have to go with Baby Hulk.
Baby Hulk. Ooh.
He reminds me of Tank. Like a little Tank.
Yeah, that was interesting, man. I don't know.
Bro, I'm trying to back him up because of the short kings, bro. Dude, because he's such the underdog, obviously.
Because
he's
like, short,
you know, everything. But
I know he has that dog in him.
Got that dog
I know
in
he's
him.
got that dog in him. It's gonna be hard. I don't know. I'm going for Joey Knight.
Joey Knight.
Yeah, but it's gonna be hard. How about you?
I think, baby, my horse says Baby Hulk,
But my wallet.
but my money says Joey Knight, man.
Oh, so you think Joey Knight takes it?
I think Joey Knight can take it. He's not a kid. He's 27 years old, and it looks like he does have a solid boxing foundation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he can take the victory.
All right. What about the main event right now? FoxTheG or Most Wanted and Evil Hero? Who takes that one?
I think FoxTheG.
I think so.
Yeah. Based on his last performance, oh my god.
I mean, Evil Hero, he's always seems to be losing, and then Most Wanted. I mean, he's coming off a loss and a very pretty bad performance in my opinion. So I think FoxTheG is a no-brainer to go with. I think he's more hungry and more experienced than both of them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really though. I know something about Most Wanted. Because it's kind of crazy for him. Didn't he fight in the prelims in his last fight, and now he's the main event?
That's crazy.
Isn't that insane?
No.
Like, bro, and he lost in the prelims, and he's going to the main event
And
still.
he's headlining the Misfits card before Slim.
Yeah, they're like, bro, what?
Slim right now just throwing like
Slim's in the mud right now, dude.
He's gotta be mad.
I think I'd go with FoxTheG too.
Yeah.
But that fight, it's still weird to me.
Still
you
weird.
know,
Yeah.
You know what? I have a wild prediction. I think after the fight or after the fights, if FoxTheG wins, comes out on top, and they interview him,
he's gonna call out.
he's gonna call out one of the losers or from this interim because they're all the same weight.
Oh, FoxTheG's at 130 as well.
Yeah, he's at 130.
Oh,
So
okay.
and they're in the interim lightweight title. They're all around that same weight. I feel like he's gonna call like either the winner or the loser. I'm pretty sure the loser because I mean I don't think the loser is gonna advance.
No.
So like let's say like Jody or Baby Hulk loses. Let's say, or actually let's say Baby Hulk wins and then Joey Knight loses. They were kind of hyping up they're kind of hyping up Joey Knight versus FoxTheG after
They did a face-off,
they
didn't
did a face off at the hotel lobby. So imagine Joey Knight loses against Baby Hulk and then FoxTheG calls out Joey Knight. That's a good fight. You know, I feel like he's gonna call out one of the people who loses in this card.
I think it'd be a smart move by FoxTheG.
Yeah, keep growing.
Stay relevant, you know? Yeah.
Well, I think that's what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
And that's what Misfits is trying to do for him
Yeah.
because now he's headlining.
Yeah.
He's literally just headlining.
Hey, I saw some trash talk from him and his opponents. What they do, like a voice call?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, voice conference. It was funny. People, FoxTheG seems confident.
He should.
He seems like calm. He seems like actually like he's not one of those cringy ones that just be saying like cringy trash talk.
I mean, Fox was a little cringy.
Was he?
Leading up to the Jay the Small Spartan. He was saying some corny stuff.
Oh, really?
People are like, voila, hero. Just chill, man. But I mean, now he backed it up.
He got the
so
KO.
he can kind of say it, I guess now. But he's confident. I'm sure he feels he's unbeatable at the moment. He feels like no one can stop him. So and plus they're giving him, I feel in my opinion, two potato sacks,
2 easy ones.
yeah, 2 easy ones. So it should be a
First hairliner.
first headline. Dude, that's huge, man.
That is huge.
He's only 18 or
second
19.
fight in Misfits, and he's
He's
headlining.
That's wild, man. He's probably over the moon right now.
Yeah.
But so yeah, that was the whole Misfits card right now. Headlined by FoxTheG as he takes on Evil Hero and Most Wanted. Now before we end the podcast, I want to briefly talk about a very viral video that went
A video.
A very viral video that went very viral.
A video that went viral on X this past weekend in the boxing community, and it was I don't know if you guys saw it. It was a video of these two like young kids, probably like 10, 11 years old at most, after a sparring, and they were just bloodied up. It looked like they went a war against each other, and the community was very divided about this, and there were, people were saying, oh, this is good, people are soft nowadays, this is what boxing is all about. Some people are all like, bro, like they're like 9 years old, why are you making them spar like this? What do you guys think about that? Do you think hard sparring for younger kids, especially if they're like 9, 10, 11 years old, is that necessary?
Well, this is interesting. So firstly, we don't know how hard they were actually sparring, do we? No, there's no video of them actually like hitting them like hard or anything.
Not that I've seen. No.
The only thing that we see is that they're all bloodied up. Now listen, some kids bleed a lot from their nose. I can speak from personal experience. Any punch that landed on my nose, I just gushed blood. So it's not necessarily that I was in like some wars or anything. It was just I got hit in the right spot in the nose. My nose started bleeding profusely. That could be an explanation. Yeah. Maybe they weren't even sparring that hard. Maybe both of them, their nose bleeds very easily. It's very common, especially when you're young, for your nose to bleed a lot because you're just getting into the sport. So we can cut them some slack off that. We don't know the full story. We don't know how hard they were actually sparring. Another thing as well is that we can have our opinions about this, but at the end of the day, it's their parents. If their parents want them to spar like that, if their parents want them to spar hard, let them spar hard. You know what I'm saying? Like it's they have their
the final say.
Well, they're responsible for them.
They're responsible for them, so they should have the responsibility and the consequences,
Yeah. I was kind of thinking that too. Like, we don't really know the context of it. I was kind of thinking that way as well. Maybe
their nose bleeds easily.
Yeah, their noses are sensitive and whatnot. But let's just say they were going hard, so that's why it caused. Mm-hmm. Would you have a different opinion?
I would say, personally, it depends on the age. Do we know how old they were?
Prepubescent?
Yeah, they were small.
They're small. Yeah. So I'd say probably hold off on like hard sparring like that, because CTE is a very real thing. And the earlier you start getting hit in the brain, the worse it's going to be once you get older. So I would say probably, me personally, I wouldn't have my child at 9 years old sparring like that, like super hard. But then again, if their parents want to do it, hey, let them do it. I wouldn't say if I was in the gym, let's say, and I was seeing them do it, I'd be like, damn, these kids are going hard as fuck. I'd be like, holy shit, man.
Yeah.
And if maybe I have my own personal take on it, but the parents are there. If the parents are there, adult supervision is there. It's fine.
Yeah, for me, at the end of the day, it's a sport. So honestly, I get that argument for sure. They're 9 or they're still very young. It's probably not the best, but at the end of the day, it really is a sport. Plus, countless legends have started at a very young age, single digits. I'm talking about Andre Ward. I'm talking about, I think, maybe Floyd, Gervonta Davis. I mean, they all started when they were really young. Oscar De La Hoya, and they turned out fine for the most part.
For the most
Except maybe Oscar.
Well, yeah, if I was, I don't know, personally, like if I had my kid, or if I even ran the gym, like hard sparring like that, it's for a certain age. I feel like if you're that young, like technical sparring is there, you can work on technique, you can work on, this and that. You don't have to go hard always in sparring. But then again, like you said, it's up to the parents, it's up to the gym as well. The coaches are also responsible for these kids. It's their fighters, So they have to take the action, whether or not they want their fighters sparring like that, and what age is permitted to spar as hard as they were going, or as hard as they could have possibly been going. Like you said, we don't know the whole details of the sparring, but yeah, people online were just very, very divided. Some people, like I mentioned earlier, were saying, oh, this is real boxing right there. They're going to be great champions in the future, which I can understand. There's like a whole machismo type of a whole pride, because it's like boxing is a sport, filled with warriors, with tough fighters. fighters, and people were hyping them up, saying like, "Damn, these kids are really, you know, showing everyone like what real boxing is." While the other area was, you know, really sympathetic and criticizing not only the coach but the parents, saying like, how are you gonna let these 9, 10, 11-year-old kids spar like this? You know, they're gonna have problems in the future. You know, a CTE, like you said, is a real thing. So yeah, it's a big debate. I think it just depends on what you kind of believe in, you know, and what you believe should be permitted in a boxing gym when it comes to sparring for a young age like that.
Yeah, and really, they're both perspectives are right. Like, they both have some validity in their arguments. You know, a kid maybe shouldn't be going that hard in sparring, but another side of that is, maybe they want to be, you know, a great boxer, so they're gonna put in the work. They got adult supervision there. If anything really truly goes south, then they can step in and stop the fight. It's a controlled environment. The coaches are there. They're okay with it. The parents are there. They're okay with it. They can run it. You know, they can do what they want. So I think there's validity in both arguments, and I think it's funny. It's interesting to see like what the boxing community thinks about this. You know, like kids doing hard sparring.
I wonder if it was just boxing people that were commenting on it. Because
actually, that's a good point. Yeah,
I think the people who were definitely like against it were people who just don't really follow the sport like that.
Yeah, that's actually true.
I saw it from both boxing and who were against
but like
it.
I think probably the most like radical ones on like the kids, they shouldn't even be sparring like this, were probably people, you know, because it's having kids is like a universal thing. So then it's like they're probably thinking of their kids like going to a gym and just like coming back from sparring, they're fucking just all bloody up. Yeah, like they're probably thinking that single. Yeah.
Hey, but honestly, those kids probably like that sparring because I mean
they were smiling.
They looked happy. I mean, most kids, if they get hit in the face, they're not gonna like it, especially at a young age like that. So for them too, I'm pretty sure they won a war in there, and I mean, they both look pretty happy to be sparring that way. So
plus,
I mean,
I'm pretty sure.
So they had no complaints about you know, bleeding or whatnot.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this wasn't their first time either.
No,
they look pretty happy, even though just all bloodied up. So I'm pretty sure this wasn't their first time going hard. I have a question though. Do you think the people would react differently if it was an actual fight instead of just a sparring?
Oh, like an amateur
bout?
Oh, they would have stopped it. They would have stopped the fight.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The
9-year-olds gushing blood like that. They stopped my fights when I was gushing blood, and I was like 15, 16.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like regionals, like, yeah, they definitely stopped. I think they'd definitely stop a 9-year-old from fighting if both of them were just like gushing blood like that. Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah. So that was a viral video that went viral. You know, it really caught my attention because I just saw the arguments for both sides, and I thought it was very interesting to see what the general public thought about hard sparring for kids, you know, at a certain age, especially as young as those kids who were depicted in the video were. But yeah, so that's the last thing I kind of wanted to talk about. Is there anything else you guys wanted to speak on?
No,
nothing. Really. All right, so yeah, just let us know down below. What are your guys' thoughts about hard sparring when it comes to the youngins? You know, is it a good thing? Is it necessary in order for a fighter to kind of learn and improve on, or is it something bad that shouldn't be allowed until a certain age? Also, let us know about what you guys thought about O'Shaquie Foster as he took on Abraham Nova. Is Foster the best 130 pounder, or is Lamont Roach the best 130 pounder? Let us know down below. If you guys haven't already, watch the Curiel versus Nontshinga rematch fight. At least the highlights. I'm telling you right now, fight of the year contender. Action packed. You're not going to be disappointed. Lastly, let us know about the Misfits 13 card. Is influencer boxing dying because of 2v1s? Is there too much criticism? Are they going more into the circus side of boxing rather than, you know, at least trying to make entertaining for influencers? Let us know down below. But before that, don't forget to like and subscribe. Also comment down in the videos. It helps us out a lot. Don't forget to follow us on Discord. It's the first link in the description down below. We are on X, Instagram, and TikTok. So don't forget to follow us on those 3 platforms as well. We're pretty active on those. And yeah, so it was your boy Pablo, and I'm with Ruzo and Asa. And this was the Last Round Podcast. Thank you for watching.